Up next, Newcastle's Jesse Southwell returns home following Australia's win over Fiji in the Women's Rugby Sevens final in Birmingham. And a toast for the Newcastle North Stars, coach Don Champagne, and also Mayweather athlete Rose Davis, forced to cut her Commonwealth Games program to one after contracting COVID-19. That's coming up next here on NBN's local sports news. Good afternoon, my name's Conklin McLeod with NBN's local sports news. Today, Jesse Southwell's Commonwealth Games triumph has her for an NRLW stint at the Knights. A toast for the Newcastle North Stars great Don Champagne, and Mayweather athlete Rose Davis cut from her Commonwealth Games program due to COVID. But first, Jesse Southwell's glistening 2022 has taken another golden turn, and there's still more to come. The 17-year-old from Cameron Park has become a Commonwealth Games gold medalist after Australia beat Fiji in the Women's Rugby Sevens final in Birmingham on Monday. It comes just months after her international debut in the senior ranks, which featured a World Rugby Sevens series title, and with NRLW potentially on the agenda in a few weeks' time. The Knights have applied for an exemption for Southwell to play NRLW despite not being 18, and joined the squad alongside older sister Hannah, a premiership holder, State of Origin winner, and Jillaroos representative. No announcement has been made in relation to Southwell's rugby league future, but the Knights are yet to finalise their 24 player roster. Newcastle start this year's second NRLW season at home against Brisbane on August the 21st. Meanwhile, Southwell's father Matt and mother Sandra tuned in to watch the Commonwealth Games decider while away in Port Stephens. The talented teenager played 3 minutes off the bench in the showdown, which Australia won 22-12 at Coventry Arena. Australia turned the tables on Fiji, who had beaten them in a preliminary showdown, shooting out to a 17-0 lead. Faith Nathan scored a double, while Madison Ashby and Madison Levi also crossed the try line. The 2016 Olympic gold medalists made the Birmingham final by knocking out defending champions New Zealand in the semis. Don Champagne coached the Newcastle North Stars to a record 4 Goodall Cups and led the club to an unprecedented 7 straight Australian Ice Hockey League Grand Finals. The Canadian national and adopted Novocastrian was a superb tactician, had an incredible eye for a talent and made those around him better. Most of all, he was a friend. Champagne died on Saturday after a long battle with illness. He was aged 72. The Hunter Ice Skating Stadium was built in 2000. It could nearly have been the rink Don built. However, close friend and North Stars general manager Gary Dorway said this, that he's been such a big part of ice hockey in this region and Australia. Champagne is survived by his wife Angela and daughters Layla, Talia, and Alyssa. Still on the Birmingham Commonwealth Games, and Mayweather athlete Rose Davies has reduced her program to one race into the city after contracting COVID-19. The 22-year-old will now miss the women's 10,000 metres at Alexandra Stadium tonight. However, she still intends to run the 5,000 metre final at the same event on Monday. Davies remains in isolation in the UK, but will be out at some stage this week prior to her second future. Newcastle-based coach Scott Westcott describes this unexpected turn of events as a little hiccup we've had to observe, and says it may just make her more hungry for the 5. Westcott told us on Monday that Rose won't be running the 10 because she's got COVID. To the NRL and Knights Warhouse, David Clemmer has quashed speculation that he'll play out the season on a loan deal with the Parramatta Eels. Nope, that's false. Meanwhile, the Daily Telegraph reported on Monday that Parramatta made a last-ditch bid to the Knights to release Clemmer to them for the rest of his campaign, but Clemmer told us by text a message, "No, not true. I'm committed to the club." While the Knights are out of finals contention, the Eels are currently 6 and are looking to feature prominently in the playoffs. The report said that Knights coach Adam O'Brien and club officials were considering their rivals' approach. But Knights CEO Philip Gardner said the matter wasn't raised with him, and said his understanding was that Clemmer was not interested in the move when it was broached by his agent. Still on the Knights, and week by week, game by game, the last resort looms even larger for the Newcastle Knights management. Their officials don't want to sack coach Adam O'Brien, and rightly so. Not only are the West Group board of directors notoriously frugal bunch who must be dreading a potential payout for the remaining 2 seasons of O'Brien's contract, but history tells us that a long-term head coach is usually the starting point for any successful sporting franchise. Meanwhile, moreover, O'Brien clearly has some credit in the bank, having steered Newcastle into the playoffs in his first 2 seasons at the helm, a feat beyond every previous Knights coach except Warren Ryan and Michael Hagan. Meanwhile, Hunter cricketer Grant Stewart has signed a contract extension at English County Kent. The all-rounder, who hails from Maitland and represented both Newcastle and New South Wales country, will now stay at the club until at least the end of 2024. After 2 years without a competition, Louise Cooper had no idea how Hunter would fare at the New South Wales Primary School Sports Association Netball Championships. But the Cooper coach side smashed it out the park to be undefeated on the way to securing the state title at Sydney's Olympic Park's Netball Central last week. Still to come, we'll have more in the Commonwealth Games. As a weightlifter has his bronze medal stripped from him.
I'm going to buy that.
Into big business now, are we?
Nope. I'm quite happy with the small business I own, Louise.
Who are you banking with now, Bob?
Newcastle Permanent.
No, I know. I mean, your company banking.
Yeah, we're with a firm.
Didn't know they did business banking.
Well, I have done for quite some time now, Dad.
Oh, good move.
That's mine. Thank you.
Your business is in good hands with Newcastle Permanent.
They're our building society.
Wake up in the morning, gotta get because the Herald is the best way to start your day.
Kirsty Fenton has been named in the Australian team to compete at the FIFA Under-20s Women's World Cup in Costa Rica this month. The opportunity comes after the Black Horse Park 18-year-old had a breakout A-League women's season for the Newcastle Jets, with the versatile defender earning the club's Rising Talent award for her efforts. Returning back to the Commonwealth Games, and a warning, some viewers may find the scenes really disturbing. Also, there was a massive crash that occurred, which of course was a terrible accident, which involved English cyclist Matt Walls. Meanwhile, the others who were also involved in the crash was Matt Bostock from the Isle of Man and Canadian Derek G. The other cyclist was, of course, Australia's Josh Duffy, who of course had to have splinters removed from his back because he was involved in the crash. Then more drama came right up during cycling when Matthew Gladzer was stripped of a bronze medal. Then, hours later, the stripping happened again during weightlifting.
Wearing his late father's compression bandage, compression shirt. Oh, come on,
And of course, Kyle Bruce thought he had a gold medal.
Still a lift to come, but at the moment his nose is in front.
But then,
He's got one hand on the gold
the judges controversially stripped him of a gold medal.
He's going to settle for either silver or bronze.
And of course,
Nicholas Vajon, the Canadian, still
Kyle
the
was
left.
not happy about it.
Now the jury are having a little look at something, are they? Oh no!
And because of that left our commentators
The
shocked.
jury has had another look at that and has decided that is a no lift, a tragedy for Kyle
And also,
Bruce.
the judges
goes back
knew
to the
what he
silver
had done
medal position.
wrong. They
The silver that he
decided
won
that it was a no lift.
4 years ago.
Well, let's go back to local sport, and in harness racing, Maitland father and son team Guy and Mitch Chappell are looking to the New South Wales Breeders' Challenge Series, with renewed confidence after Chappie's 3-0 returned from almost 9 months off to score at Newcastle yesterday. First up since 5th in the Breeders' Challenge, held at Newcastle on November 19 last year, the 3-year-old gelding led from gate 4 and kicked clear late to win by 9 metres in 1.56.1 over the mile. Philip Anderson broke a run of outs on the Challenger Series with an opening round heat win and a successful start for Merriweather's trio at the US Open of Surfing. Anderson had bowed out in the first round at the previous ones this year, but the 30-year-old opened with a heat high 4.67 and backed it up on her fourth wave with a 4.23 to win the 30-minute contest. That's it for now from all of us here. Good night.